All right. Well, hey everyone. My name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, and we're doing a live stream for the new question and prompt series. And I see that there are a few people in the chat. I see that Bernie, hey Bernardo, sorry to see that you're with your family right now, but that's okay. I'm glad you're stopping by. So I hope you're having a good day. But here we are starting off with the live stream for the question and prompt series, which has been a lot of fun over the last few months when I started this, and it's been just really awesome to see the engagement from everybody else and seeing everyone in the comment section just doing this. So. I wanted to just start off this a little bit and just wait for people to trickle in here before we jump into this. It looks like we are losing people at the very beginning. And anyway, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me pretty well? Comment. Yes. John Deere, how are you? Can you hear me? I hope everyone can hear me right now. Hey, Atarius. Hey, Davey. Yeah, sweet. All right, we're getting some people trickling in. Hey, Mark. Hey, John Deere, Davey, Atarius, Bernardo. Yeah, so we're doing a nice little giveaway live stream, and actually several of the people already in this chat have already answered on those videos I did, where each week we talked about different questions and answers. So that's what I wanted to do today. Is I wanted to join along with all of you and just kind of do this organically, where we can engage with the question itself and just have a lively chat about it. So, also Sam, you're in as well. Hey, man. So let's start off with the first question that I have for all of you. So if you can answer this in the chat, and then we'll engage with it, and we'll just have some fun here. And then by the end of this, we'll do a nice little giveaway. So I have a lot of names here. I have 78. I have 78 names here, and I'll do a random number giveaway for those things. And actually, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away these two bad boys on 4K. I got these from Kino Lorber, a fistful of dollars, and for a few dollars more. So that's what we're going to be doing with the giveaway in a second. But I want to do the engagement first. It looks like my good buddy Ryan is here as well, disconnected. How are you doing, buddy? I'm glad to see all my friends here. I'm really happy to see all of you come by, even though I'm sure some of you already probably have these 4Ks, the Clint Eastwood ones. Looks like Eddie is here as well. Hey man, I am super excited that you're on YouTube. So I love your stuff. So let's get started. So everyone who's watching right now, you can join along and with this question. But I want to ask all of you who are watching right now, what is your favorite movie theater experience? Right? Just something simple, something small. I got a lot of really good responses when I did ask that question initially, and some of you already answered that question on that video. But what are some of your favorite movie theater experiences? So I'll just give you a movie theater experience that I really enjoyed. That I think I mentioned and shared watching Lord of the Rings. I watched Lord of the Rings Return of the King with my uncle in IMAX, and right as the moment where King Theoden and the Rohirrim show up to Gondor and try to help on Pelennor Fields, he's given a speech, and then I look over to my uncle at the time when I was, a preteen, and I saw that he was tearing up and crying, and that's a theater experience I just had never, not have really just thought about in my at that age, like that somebody could be emotionally tied to a film. So that was a really great movie theater experience. But what about all of you, everyone who's watching right here? Can you tell me just something maybe something simple or small that you also had, where you had a favorite movie theater experience, or maybe even something not so fun? That would be a lot of fun too. I talked a little bit about Top Gun Maverick not too long ago, and that was not a fun time. A bunch of old people and kids on summer vacation wouldn't shut up. So anyway, we're getting some people talking about it. Looks like Davey's up first, saying seeing Purple Rain the week after Prince died. That is man, that is total catharsis. Wow. That is heavy stuff, but I'm sure it's very memorable. And Davey, I know that means a lot to you. So, and Prince is amazing. So, That's awesome that you got to have that. Sam says seeing Donnie Darko 4K restoration at the BFI South Bank. Man, when I was in London and I went to the BFI, I didn't go see a movie like an idiot. I didn't have time. But you saw it with Richard Kelly doing an introduction and a Q&A afterwards. That's amazing. I'm super jealous of that, Sam. That sounds like a lot of fun. I will say our buddy Chris Moen and I were able to go to the Queen's Film Theater in Belfast, and we were able to see a Darren Aronofsky Q&A live stream, and that was surreal going to that. So it's something like that. That was a lot of fun. John Deere said The Thing. They cooled the theater real cold, and there I am in my shorts, freezing. Yep. I like that. That's really funny. I love the atmosphere of that film, and so making the movie theater cold is another great thing to do. But that's the thing too. I don't know about all of you, but our movie theaters, I mean, I feel like I need to dress up a little bit, as in like I need to wear like jeans or something like kind of long pants because it's always freezing. Every movie theater I've ever been to is like just super cold. But anyway, that's just what I've done. So anyone else want to answer the question, what is your favorite movie theater experience? You can definitely do so. But from here, let's kind of jump on to the next one as we're going along here organically. I will say that film blogger Sam just said theaters are cold here. I think that might be just a thing because I feel like theaters in general they need to be a certain temperature. I think just legally, I don't. Maybe someone can answer that for me here, but I don't know why they're always so freezing. But anyway. Looks like Ryan said he saw a Carpenter triple feature just last night. I remember you talking about that. About to go to that. Man, I'm super jealous of that. That's amazing. What films, Ryan, did you see? Eddie just said Tenet was an awesome theater experience for me. Even though I couldn't hear any of the dialogue, it was my first time back in the theater since the pandemic, and it was incredible. I actually was one of the few people who didn't. Well, there was a lot of people who didn't go to the theater back when that came out during that time, but I didn't see Tenet in theaters. But I mean, going back to the theater the first time since the pandemic was such a surreal experience, and I'm sure a lot of you who have been back to the theater since that happened it was something else, but also like very memorable. So for me, Eddie, I wish I saw Tenet, but I saw Mortal Kombat. Actually, that was my first film, and honestly, that was the best movie to watch coming back because I wanted something very dumb and I wanted something to shut my brain off. And Mortal Kombat was a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I chose as my comeback to the theater experience. Ryan says he saw Escape from New York, L.A., and They Live. That's a dope trilogy. I still have not seen Escape from L.A. I know it's gotten a lot of like maybe cultural it's more in the zeitgeist now. People are talking about it more. I've heard it's really really silly, but I still want to watch it really bad. Davey says Maverick was my first after COVID and not an awful audience. Well, good for you, Davey. I'm glad that somebody was able to see Maverick without people just saying, "Oh, look, that's Iceman. Oh, look, that's Val Kilmer." Like, yes, we have eyes. So you don't have internal eyes. You don't have to talk out loud. Yes, I definitely am curious about that, Ryan. So yeah, it looks like Escape from LA is hilarious. So that's awesome. All right, so let's move on a little bit to that next question. Tell me about some of your favorite comedies. So what is your favorite comedy of all time? I think when I answered this question, I think I may have said Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't remember actually, even though it was a little bit further away. Um, but there's so many comedies I want to choose, but I think I chose Holy Grail. In Bruges is technically a comedy, so I would choose that. But there's so many good comedies. Billy Madison's one of my favorite movies. It's the top 100 movie of all time. I know Sam knows about that and gives me a lot of shit for it, which is hilarious. Looks like SJS is in. Hey man, it's good seeing you. Yeah, I'm glad that you're able to watch that film Journey with Elliot. By the way, yeah, that's something that I put out today. So I put out my 40th film journey out today, and that was with Elliot, which has been a long time coming. We've been trying to schedule this out for like a year and a half or something, but we figured it out. It's good. Go check it out, everyone. And SJS, I'm super happy that you're here checking this out. Davey says Duck Soup is his favorite comedy. Fantastic, fantastic bunch of people and Duck Soup. I love that. I love the Marx Brothers, and I think that's a fantastic choice. Sam said The Big Lebowski with Wet Hot American Summer coming in a close second. Those are really great choices. I've only seen Wet Hot American Summer once, and it was last year. I need to watch that. I also need to just get the Blu-ray in general, because that is just something that is sorely missing on my shelf, because that was something I could probably rewatch over and over again. I just know it. Kind of like in the opposite way that Sleepaway Camp is, in terms of like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're very similar in terms of how everyone's interacting with each other. One's a little bit more schlocky, and one's a little bit more Linklater-esque kind of thing. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen that. So looks like Davey, thank you for keeping me updated on that. You did, and quoted a lot of Python up here. I did quote a lot of Python because I every single day in my life, or maybe every other day, or at least once or twice a week, I definitely quote Monty Python. I mean, there's no reason not to. If you love life, you should love Monty Python. If you don't love Monty Python, I don't know what's going on with you. I guess you could still stick around, but that's fine. Let's see. Used Cars is up there too. I actually have Used Cars on Shout Select over there on the shelf. I have not seen it yet, but it looks like a lot of fun. I don't even want to talk about the shelf over there that I have of unused films. I bet somebody's going to try to ask me to say, like, hey, what number of films do you have in your collection that you haven't seen? Go ahead, ask it. Let's see. Disconnected says probably Young Frankenstein. That's a fantastic Mel Brooks film. It's that and Blazing Saddles, I think, are my favorite films from Mel Brooks. It's Spaceballs. Those are the top three. No particular order, but I think Young Frankenstein's probably his best work for sure. Fantastic film. I love it. Love it so much. Atari says Holy Grail for me as well. I love that. That's a great choice. And we've got better though. There's better choices. Paddington 2. Why do you have to bring up Paddington? He's right up. He's right there. He's right there. I love that. Paddington 2 is that a comedy? Is that like a technical comedy right now? It's kind of, I don't know what it is, but I'm glad that you brought it up, Davey, because I love Paddington to death. And Airplane, Tarius says that is a phenomenal film, and that's a film I always point to when I tell people, like, that movie is rated PG because the PG-13 and wasn't invented at that time, but I would assume that's where that would come. But yeah, there was definitely some moments in that film that, like, when I was younger and watched it, I was like, oh, interesting. So there's that. SJS Arts says The Shining and Blue Velvet are so incredibly hilarious. Honestly, they are very funny films. So they're not, maybe that's not like the whole point, but that surrealist kind of humor, or just that twisted kind of humor in those films are that's a good choice right there. Let's see. Mark says, I love The Party with Peter Sellers. That movie couldn't be made today. The jokes. I have not seen that film. But I can only imagine. I know of the film, so now I'm just thinking of that murder mystery film. Why can't I think of what it's called? Somebody's going to help me here. That you cannot make today. But it had like Sherlock and Agatha Christie type characters in it, and I want to say Truman Capote's in it. Murder by Death. Everyone's saying it. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Good thing. Patters 2 is a comedy. And Hugh Grant is not a farce. Yes, Hugh Grant is an amazing villain, and I want to see him in more things as a klutz in like Paddington 2. So yes, favorite comedy for people who are just joining in here. What is your favorite comedy of all time? Recently, I've been watching a lot of a lot of Adam Sandler films. So like Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds. I've been rewatching those quite a bit. I love those movies. I grew up around the same time, actually. In the last film journey, just to kind of give you a preview, Elliot and I talk about Adam Sandler quite a bit because we both grew up with that, and we love Adam Sandler, and I still do. And I will watch Waterboy and Mr. Deeds and Happy Gilmore and the like until I die. So, and share them off. If I ever have kids or something, like I'll share it with them, and they'll just be looking at me really weird probably. Let's see. Ryan says, got to go with some modern ones as well. I love you, man, for getting Sarah Marshall and Blockers. I really enjoy all those films. Of course, I actually have not seen Blockers yet, which I've actually heard is really good. So that is something that is missing. But I love you, man. We used to quote that movie all the time. Slap at the bass, you know. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, that is a staple of the 2000s comedy, and I 100% agree with that. Looks like Davey's saying Mr. Deeds with Gary Cooper. Yes, yes, very good comedy right there with Gary Cooper. I do love Mr. Deeds Goes to Washington as well, and I highly recommend it, actually, if anyone hasn't seen that. And Jimmy Stewart in Harvey, that's good as well. Atari says, got to put the animals to bed. Back in a while. See you in a second, buddy. Chris is saying, hey, buddy, evening. Fashionably late. No, I mentioned you earlier, so I conjured you up, Chris. So I don't know what I was talking about, but here we are. Game night, and they came together from Ryan. I love Game Night. That's a really great one. Sam saying better late than never. A Mighty Wind too. There's so many. See, I need to start writing these things down and start writing them for movies I need to watch. But these are some good comedies. I'm glad that everyone's coming out of the woodwork to bring up some of these ones. So let's actually transition to that like third question here. And this one is a little bit tougher, maybe if you can remember. But what was your first boutique Blu-ray? And I think I said something along the lines of Seven Samurai. That might have been my answer when I said Criterion. Now it's kind of going to be hard to think about where this all started. But for me, my first boutique Blu-ray was the edition of Seven Samurai. Where is that? It's right over here. It's beat to death, actually. It's got some corner damage just because I've watched it quite often. But yeah, Seven Samurai was my first boutique Blu-ray from Criterion. What about everyone else? Well, what was your first boutique Blu-ray? If you remember it, or maybe just pick one of the boutique labels and be like, yes, I have one of those. That would be cool too. I'm sure I could probably go off and think of the other boutique labels for like what I picked up first. I know for like Arrow, I want to say that I picked up The Thing and The Stuff. That was like two of my first from Arrow, and I really love those films. So, all right, now let's get to the chat. Chris saying, procrastinating about what to watch tonight and got lost. Davey saying, I don't know my first. I've been with Arrow since the first Blu-rays when they were just films. I love that. Now they're flicks, right? That's what Arrow puts out. Sam says, I'm not entirely sure, but my first Criterion was Gilda. That's an amazing first Criterion, and that's probably one of my favorite noirs. And you can easily find it in your collection because of that hot pink spine, right? It's all black, and then you have that hot pink spine. So it's super easy to find. And yes, for people who are new to the channel, this whole array of like colors and stuff, some people might be like, how do you find your films? I somehow just remember the color of the spine, and that's how that goes for me. How's everyone else? This is another side question, but how's everyone else? How do you organize your collection? That would be cool. That'd be another thing. I might be doing that for another question later on in the future. But let's look. Looks like SGS says Harakiri or Path of Glory Eureka. MOC Blu-rays, I think. And I want to say thank you, SGS, for pointing out Harakiri all those years ago. And I love that film so much. And I'm so glad I have it. Actually, speaking of things I can just pull out randomly, there it is. That's my Criterion edition of that. So thank you, SGS, for that one. Let's see. All right. Now we are over to Mark saying it was either Bound or Runaway Train from Arrow Video, which I have not seen either of those films. So I would like to see those. I need more Arrow films. I don't have enough. Actually, I have enough, but I don't have enough at the same time. Looks like Eddie says I bought 3 Criterion, 7 Samurai, Night of the Living Dead, and Dr. Strangelove. Those are all essentials, and I love those choices. Those are excellent choices. I really want to upgrade my Night of the Living Dead to 4K in October. I think I might. And I would love to have Dr. Strangelove on 4K, but I only have the second edition of that. I don't have the first. Yeah, so I just wish that would come out individually. That would be a lot. That'd be a lot of fun for me. SJS says First Criterion was Sword of Doom, another amazing samurai film, and I have it right behind me as well over here. I know I was just bragging about finding things. There it is. It's got a really cool spy number color as well. That orange and black. All right, let's see. Ryan says, I think my first Arrow was Reanimator. That's a great movie. I watched it with my friends who are not in the chat, but Chris and Daniel, Chris Hurtado and Daniel Epler, two of my friends who have really great podcasts, by the way. I like to plug them out. Cobwebs and Inside the Sequel. So on all those platforms, they're really great people. But I think we watched Reanimator all together. And that was a lot of fun. That was about 4 or 5 years ago, but I still haven't, I don't own it. So I need to get that film. Chris says First Criterion is In a Lonely Place or MOC, Masters of Cinema, Touch of Evil. Those are classics and both fantastic noirs. And I haven't seen In a Lonely Place in far too long. So I definitely need to watch that again. And I also have that Touch of Evil 4K from Kino Lorber that I need to rewatch. It's been a second since I've seen it. Davey says, I have my order. You've seen it. Yes, I have seen it, but don't tell anyone else. Nobody knows. Sam says, by label, but no, or, this is now, okay. Now we're talking about order. Remember, I asked that side question. Now I'm getting to it. Now I'm remembering how everyone structures and organizes their collection. So Davey was saying, I have my order, and yes, it's a very crazy order, but like I said, don't tell anybody. Then Sam says, by label, no, but no order other than that. I just remember where everything is. Yeah, so that's kind of how it is for me. I just kind of remember where I place things, and that's how I find it, which is not great for everything, especially if somebody's coming over and like looking around, like, how do you organize this? Let alone people who don't know what, like this shelf is compared to like the other shelf across the bay. They're like, well, I don't know what I'm looking at. How you organize this? But anywho, David says, makes no sense to anyone, but my order always sticks in my head where movies are. Yeah, so it seems to be a sentiment that a lot of people are having. They might just know themselves and where their things are. Like they have that memory, that photographic memory of where something's at. SGS says, I organize mine by spine number, if there are spine numbers, but non-spine number, spine Blu-rays alphabetically. That's fair. That's definitely fair. I do spine numbers for my indicator releases, but I don't think I do anything else for that. But I'd have everything else is alphabetical, I think, for me. Let's see. I'm doing a Reanimator series starting in October. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Get some mad scientist stuff out there. Disconnected says by boutique label alphabetically and then by spine catalog number within the boutique. Yes, and that's pretty much what I do with mine, with my boutique labels. It's more or less alphabetical all the time. There is a little bit of spine manipulation, I suppose. Speaking of Reanimator, it's usually just for indicator for me though, and I'm looking over on the shelf because I have a lot of indicator movies that I have not seen just yet. But anyway, let's transition here. That was our third question, sub question of the third question. But now we're going to talk about what is our favorite summer movie. So I think when I was asking what is your favorite summer movie for my go pick, I think I had two films. I think I talked about Call Me by Your Name and The Way Back. And I love both films for very different reasons. Call Me by Your Name is just a film that just feels perfectly summer. Obviously, it is set in the summer. It is also just it's got a phenomenal score. Really fantastic acting. Michael Stolberg is probably my favorite character in that film. It's just highly remarkable and very memorable. And also there are some slight controversies with that film just because of the age gap that is trying to portray. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me because it's not really that much of a big deal, at least in my opinion. But anywho, and then Army Hammer is a cannibal now, right? Is that what's going on? Anyway, and then the other film I talked about was The Way Back, which is Sam Rockwell and a bunch of really fantastic cast. Like, let's see, I'm totally blanking. Tony Collette's in it, and Steve Carell and the like. And yeah, it's just about a kid on summer vacation who doesn't want to be with his new stepdad and his mom and at the beach. He would rather be with his dad. And then he just finds drunken Sam Rockwell running a theme park and just has a good time with it. And I really love that film. But yeah, but what about you, everyone? What are some of your favorite summer movies? We talked about some of them actually. Talking about Wet Hot American Summer. I know Sam brought that movie up. That would be a really good choice as well. So, all right. So now we are. Davey saying, "I don't need to be more mad scientist. I make Herbert West seem tame." Yes, yes, you do. You're a mad lad, and I love it. Davey says, "Summer movies, Jaws." Yep, I also watched Jaws this summer. I finally watched my 4K of Jaws. I think that 4K came out last year. I could be wrong on that, but I had it on my shelf for a bit, and but it took me a while. But the 4K transfer of Jaws is just fantastic. I mean, that's just one of those perfect films. It's that good, right? Let's see. Film blogger Sam says, "Does Texas Chainsaw Massacre count?" I think so. That heat of Texas is definitely something that is very present in the film. So I think it counts. And also you see in fields and stuff, and the I feel like there's a lot of yeah. It could be fall or a summer film. That's how I say it. Space Monkey, good evening from Sweden. Good evening. It's good seeing you, man. I've seen Space Monkey here quite often in a lot of my videos. In fact, everyone who's popping up here is people in a lot of the comment sections, and some people I've met in real life, which is just surreal to me still. Actually, a good number of you I've actually met in real life, which is just crazy to me. Let's see. Eddie says probably Dazed and Confused in Greece, if that counts. Yeah, I definitely. Dazed and Confused is certainly a summer film. Isn't that like the last week of school or something like that? I can't remember the exact timeline, but everyone's just like about to party, or maybe it's the last day of summer, something like that. But that's a phenomenal film. I need to get that on Criterion. I don't have that. I just have the normal standard Blu-ray over there somewhere across the bay. Grease definitely counts. Another film that starts when school's about to change. Anyway, great movie. I really enjoy it. At least it's been a while since I've seen it, though. I will say, so that's a good choice. Let's see. Ryan says Summer of '84. I need to get the new edition of that. I have a standard like print Blu-ray over there of it, but I think Vinegar Syndrome's partner label put it out. I could be wrong. Somebody let me know in the comment section. Let's say SJS says Nicholas Rogue's Walkabout is definitely a summer movie in the Outback. Really fantastic film. I watched that for the first time last year, and I love it. And I kind of want to get the second sight version of that. But anyway, I really love that movie. It's trippy as hell, but also it's a film that you can definitely feel the environment very much so. Let's see. Davey says the Sinbad movies for the summer, pretty much more Harryhausen. I agree. Can't get enough of Sinbad right here. Sinbad is some of those just really feel good movies and like those summer adventure films. And when you grow up watching those, I watched them with my dad, and those are films that like I just remember watching on cable TV, which are just a lot of fun. That claymation, so good stuff there. Let's see. Davey says Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's a very hot film. In fact, it's been so long since I've seen any of the Die Hards besides Die Hard 1, which is kind of a criminal statement, but I have a Die Hard collection of the first 4 films, I think, over there. And I rewatch Die Hard 1 quite often. Die Hard 2, 3, and 4. I mean, 2 and 3 are definitely better than 4. I think 4 is like PG-13 or something like that too. But yeah, the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance with Sam Jackson. I need to rewatch that sometime. I haven't seen it in forever. Let's see. Davey says, and hey, Woodstock and Monterey Pop for music movies. I still have not seen those films. I don't have them in my collection. Those are in Criterion, I believe, right? Let's see. Disconnect. Spike Lee's Summer of Sam. Spike Lee's, anything really. Spike Lee is like just always summer related, right? So Do the Right Thing, Summer of Sam. Great choices. Mike says, love your channel, Nathan. and your love of Hammer films. Yes, I need to actually. I plan on in sometime in September, October, kind of jumping back on the Hammer bandwagon. Actually, let's see. I just got these in the mail right here. These finally showed up, so very excited about talking about these films a little bit later. I've seen The Mummy, have not seen Frankenstein and The Monster from Hell. I'm still pretty. I've only seen pretty much the Indicator Hammer films. I actually have a bunch of ones from Scream Factory, a couple from Warner Archive that I still haven't seen, but they're all on the shelf waiting to be watched. I need to get back into it. So yes, thank you for reminding me on some Hammer. I do love some Hammer films. Let's see, where are we at now? It says Disconnect said Gunpowder and Sky did the summer of '84. Oh yes, so Sky did that 4K. Gotcha. Yeah, I need to upgrade that. I think because that was a really great film, really iconic kind of movie poster too. I really like the way they designed that. I haven't seen Gunpowder, or is it? Oh, Gunpowder and Sky. I gotcha. Now it's connecting to me. Sam says Raiders of the Lost Ark seems like a good shout. Agree. That's another fun adventure film. I mean, honestly, hello, talking too much. Honestly, any adventure films like Indiana Jones or like most Spielberg films, I feel like would be just a really great summer film. I mean, that's where a lot of them come out in the summer, so that makes complete sense. But Raiders is just a phenomenal film, and also, I mean, that's a family member. Indiana. He's in my family extended. Very obvious for me and for everyone who's watching. The Sandlot is also a classic film. That's actually a good movie memory to talk about. I actually was able to see The Sandlot at my local minor league baseball team here in Springfield, where I'm at. It's like an affiliate of the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, which are anyone who likes sports. Baseball, I like. I know that Chris and Sam both are baseball fans. But yeah, I was able to see The Sandlot at a Springfield Cardinals game, which is very fun. But very good summer movie. And also, that's something you can. I'd say if you ever go to like an event, I think Sandlot would be something fun to see, like in a drive-in theater or like a theater. Ooh, hello. I swear I'm going to be okay. Whew. Let's see. Where are we at? It looks like it says Davey says Raiders is the better of the pick. Yes, agree. I did a video on those two from SS. Terrific stuff and movie. Yes, I did I haven't watched it yet, but I did see that in my feed. I haven't actually. That's another thing I want to mention is I haven't been on YouTube in a second to like comment from like the last few videos for some people or even like watch people's content. I've just been so busy lately. So I'm going to get on it. Hopefully, I'll have some time to watch and comment and interact with all of you. That's kind of why I wanted to do this a little bit. Claire says, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. And we are back to Davey saying Flight of the Phoenix. I'm answering one with Jimmy Stewart, of course, because Jimmy Stewart is great. I wish you were in the chat right now. Or like you can do the impersonation. I should just have a video clip of you doing the impersonation, and I'll send it to everyone else. Film blogger Sam, boo the Dirty Birds, the Cardinals. Yeah, I agree. I'm from Missouri, and I say boo to them. I think Ryan can say that too, right? Disconnected. I mean, you're in a different baseball town, but I don't know how you feel about the Royals. But anyway, Claire says I'm doing well. Hope you are doing good. Yes, I'm doing great. Just exhausted because I'm just going around, just doing extra work and staying up way later than I normally am. And that is something that I'm not used to. I have a bedtime. I don't know how many of you have bedtimes, but I like to sleep at a certain time. And the older I get, the more I'm like, no, this is when I want to go to bed. Anywho, so yeah, we were just talking about favorite summer movies. And now I want to kind of transition to the next question here. So before we do that, though, for people who are just joining in, so what we're going to do at the end of the live stream is actually, I have a list of 78 of you right here, which is just a crazy amount. These are people who commented in all of the question and prompt series that I've done, the last 7 ones, but I haven't done a giveaway yet. So what I'm going to be giving away are these two 4K releases. I have for a fistful of dollars and a few dollars more on Kino Lorber 4Ks. Now these are region free because they're 4Ks. So if you decide to, if you win and I send these off to you, and also let me know if somebody is in the chat actually and says like I already have them or something, we'll do it again. So, but these are what I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to be giving away one to each. I'm going to do two giveaways. So one for somebody, another for that. Sorry, I'm going to split them up. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. Anywho, let's jump back into this. Claire says, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good. I also try to keep a schedule. Yes, schedules are incredibly important. And I feel like most of us who are watching this are decent enough into our adult lives to know that we need a schedule, right? And I hope so. Mike says, Nathan, I can't stay awake after 9 p.m. these days. Dude, right? My bedtime is usually like 10 or 10:30. So not too far off from that. And honestly, this is another question. This is another side question. This is actually very, very funny. But does anyone start? Have they noticed that when the older they get, they start a movie at night and then they just fall asleep? Like that. That's something that I do a lot, and I have to finish the movie the next day when I wake up. I wake up relatively early, but that's just something that I think is hilarious. That I'm like, this is something that my dad would do, and then now I'm turning into my dad. So I'm like, great. Does anyone else fall asleep when they're watching movies? I definitely choose the worst time to start watching movies, and that is the best to do that. So anyway, Davey says, remember and stick a like on folks, help the algorithm. Yes. Comment, subscribe, notification bell, something, jonesing around. I'm not gonna say that until the end, but always give us the algorithm some stuff. We like that. Let's see. Sam says, "Oh hot damn, those are great giveaways. I've wanted to pick those up, but expensive to import." Well, yes, and both Sam and Chris saying very expensive. So yes, if somebody is in the UK or wherever you're at watching this, and you are chosen, I'm gonna do it. That's what I want to do. But I just want to help. I want to help the community out, and I don't do this very often, so I feel like it's decent enough where I can do something like this. So if someone is international, I can send these off. That it will be great. But yes, anyway, very expensive indeed, and I feel like postal send-offs have gotten more expensive. So yippee on me. Maybe somebody in the US can win these. Sorry, everyone else. Anyway, Davey says, yes, movies are miniseries as you become older. Yes, they are. Sam says, oh, for sure. I fall asleep on the regular. Mike says, yep, I doze off all the time. Eddie says, happens all the time. I watch it until I get sleepy. Then I have to finish it the next day. This is fantastic. I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who just feels like an old man all the time. And wants to make sure that this is the time to go to bed. Everyone, let me know what time do you start a movie and what time do you usually fall asleep at. Maybe if you start noticing a pattern, let me know what kind of schedule that looks like. That would be hilarious to kind of see. For me, if I'm not busy, I'll get home maybe around 7 or 8, and then I'll try to start a movie around 8:30 or 9, and then around 9:45 or 10, I'm like about to crash, so I need to turn it off. So that's kind of how I do it. Davey says you should help the UK. All downhill since you left. I know. I really want to go back. Trust me, I would love to go back. Honestly, I loved it over there. I wish I could have stayed permanently because I really enjoyed my time there. So anyway, back to the fun questions that we were having beforehand, the scripted ones, right? But that's what live streams are about, is this organic kind of back and forth, and I like that. So next, my question is, what film would you like to get a boutique release? So once again, what film would you like to get a boutique release? So for me, the answer that I gave was The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford. I'm in love with that film. I was able to see it at my local nonprofit theater a few years ago. And also I have like the vinyl score and I have the standard Blu-ray over there, but I would love to see that get a boutique label release. So there's so many things about that movie that I want to talk about. But anyway, what about you? What if you're watching this right now? What film would you like to see get a boutique release or get that treatment? And like, what label would you choose? I guess for me, I would say Criterion makes sense for Assassination of Jesse James, but also something like Second Sight makes sense. I don't want it to be in print because it would be too expensive for me to buy, but I could see it from them as well. I mean, hell, even I could even see. Well, Arrow Academy is not a thing anymore, so I don't know. But Assassination Jesse James, I would love to see that get a good treatment. Even Arrow could put that out. That would be a good Arrow release as well. Give it a 4K or something. But yes, what about you? Everyone watching this, what would you say you would want to get a boutique release? I would like to see kind of your choices here. Um, Chris says I start a movie at 8:30, asleep at for 9, wake up about 10:30, and then finish. So you fall asleep in like 30 minutes. That's pretty much that's pretty much me now. I start a movie, I'm like, and especially if it's like a dialogue heavy movie, which sounds like I'm gonna be like a caveman saying that, but like I need to see action at that time of day where it's like I need to see something going on because I otherwise I'm gonna like zone out and just like completely fall asleep. I know I have my friend Daniel, he does the opposite. Like if it's like a talkie or like a noir or something, he can watch those. But if it's something actiony, he'll fall asleep. So it's a very strange phenomena to fall asleep really quick after you start a movie, but it's what happens. All right, so back to the boutique label question. So, what would you choose for your? What would you like to get a boutique release? Right. So, it looks like Mike says boutique release of Dracula 1958, the 4K uncut and a nice color timing. That would be fantastic. I would 100% approve of that. Give me more any more Dracula films, I'll take them, and especially if they're Hammer films. That's something I'll take any day. Um, I would love to see that from Indicator, honestly. Speaking of Indicator, Davey says Winchester 73. I still have not seen that movie, but I've heard just fantastic things about that Western. Really, really want to see that movie. Indicator would be a perfect place for that. I would 100% agree with that. I swear I won't just talk about Indicator this whole time because I just love them. I love them so much. Let's see. Rock Music Forever 90 says hello. Hey Jones. And then also I want to see Peeping Tom, either by Kino or Criterion. That would be a really fantastic choice. I actually have not seen Peeping Tom, but I've obviously read about it enough, and I've heard things about it and seen clips from it. Of course, it's one of those legendary movies that hasn't really gotten much treatment like at all. I don't even know if there's a Blu-ray. Is there a Blu-ray? If there is, I don't really know about it. So that would be fantastic to get that on a boutique treatment, especially from Makino or Criterion. Sam says, I cherish having a few hours spare on the weekend or actually going to the cinema when I can watch a movie all the way through. Yes, I will say going to the movie theater, I almost like 99% of the time I will not fall asleep because obviously I usually pick a day where it's like, hey, I paid money. You got to be awake for this, or I might have like like a slight little bit of coffee or some kind of energy drink, or just knowing that I'm in an environment where I need to be awake is really important. But yes, divvying out your time for when you watch a movie before falling asleep is something a little bit crazy. SJS says The Devils by BFI. I've been wanting to see that too. I've heard good things about it. And on my original comment, I mentioned the films of Greek director Theo Angelopoulos. I hope that's how you say his name. I'd take those by any label, preferably Criterion or BFI, but there are so many films. I would like to see more from that director, but I don't really know much about that director, so this is interesting to me, and I would be interested in checking them out. Sam says The Devil's Uncut, any label. I have not seen that, unless we're talking about the same thing. I think that's what we're talking about, an uncut release of The Devils by this director. So Ingmar Bergman's Face to Face, the long cut. Yeah, more Bergman. I still haven't finished that glorious box set behind me, which is a shame because I've loved everything I've watched in that box set, more or less. And I've more or less seen, I think, about half of the films in there now. But I've had it for a long time. If you've been around on the channel for a bit, you know I've had I've had that release for forever. So I have a lot of backlog here. Davey says Optimum did the UK Blu-ray of Peeping Tom. Okay, okay. So there is a UK Blu-ray at least that exists. Oh, and streaming only movies not on disc, especially the Five Bloods. Yes, there is a there. I mean, that's another question. That's a really great point, Davey. What kind of streaming movie would you love to see if get a physical release? I guess the easiest answer I can think of off the top of my head, like right now, which I know will get a physical release, but Prey. I just can't wait to get that on physical because that movie is fantastic. But yes, The Five Bloods is a really fantastic movie as well. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more deals where there are maybe like shows and movies. Doesn't the shows don't necessarily have to be on Blu-ray because I mean most of the TV shows that most of us might have might are be on DVD or something. But I would love to see more streaming service stuff in physical media. Even though I know the majority of people will just watch it on streaming, that would be a whole other thing. Space Monkey says would love to see The Summer of Soul. I have not seen that movie, so that sounds interesting to me though. Rock and Music Forever 90. Peeping Tom is currently on Tubi TV. That's where I saw it for the first time this year. There's no Blu-ray release in the U.S. Okay, so it must be a UK only Blu-ray release, but getting it in a boutique label in general would just be a fantastic thing. So yeah, those are all great choices. Shoot, I'm gonna be okay. Just talking a lot. It seems like my old public speaking classes, where I just be talking the whole time. This is the uncut stuff. This is what happens when this is the uncut stuff where we're in the middle of the live stream, and this is like this is the stuff that doesn't go in my videos where I might just mess up or just drink a glass of water or something, right? And that's the beauty of live streams. You get to see that stuff. Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's see. Goose says, "Evening, Nathan. I would love to see the Netflix film The King released on physical. I'm not sure how it was released by others, and I absolutely loved it. I have not seen The King, but I've heard of it, and I do. I am very curious about that. I'm actually really behind on a lot of like shows in general from these streaming platforms, but also a lot of like movies that would come out on these things, unless people are talking about it and I have time. Like I've been watching. I just finished The Sandman. I've been watching, Game of Thrones, and the second episode comes out tonight. So, but there's a few things I got to follow. But anyway, Claire says, I like your tattoos. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am currently trying to finish this sleeve right here. Right. And then I have this sleeve completely done, black and gray. I don't talk about tattoos much, but I have a lot of tattoos, and they're addicting. And they're for sailors and people who go to jail. Just telling you. So that's what my mom told me, at least. So, but she's got tattoos now too. So I changed her mind. Anyway, Claire says very nice, thank you. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the question, the sixth question here. Let's see. Who is your favorite celebrity you've met? He doesn't have to say, like, when I ask this question, who's your favorite celebrity you've met? This one is a little bit more niche because not everyone has met somebody that is famous or been in the proximity of. But like, who's the most famous person that you've been around, right? So I think for me, I said Greg Sestero from The Room, Sestero. And I was able to actually read some script readings with him, which was trippy. I think he was playing Tommy and I was playing him. But at the Alamo Draft House, that was a lot of fun. And then I got to meet him, and I was very nervous. And even though he's a normal person, these people are normal. Anyway, I've also been to the comedy club or the Comedy Store in LA, and I was front row, so I've seen David Spade, very drunk, like just 2 feet away from me. But I didn't meet him. But that was cool. Just throwing back when I watched David Spade in the 90s, right? That was interesting. Let's see. Okay, everyone else. Let's see. Kesper, are you excited for the Banshees of Inisheer? Yeah, of course. I'm so excited for that film. That's actually my most anticipated film of the year. Everyone who knows me knows that I love In Bruges to death. And I see the poster over there. I have the glorious second sight release, which is a prized possession of mine. So I'm very excited about that film. It looks hilarious, and anything that's set back in the homeland of Martin McDonagh, I'm about. I need more water, but we're gonna keep going. Claire says, "I want tats, but I'm afraid of needles." That's fair, and also a fair phobia as well. It's a very expensive hobby, and apparently that's what I'm into. I guess I don't know. Anyway, I've seen Daniel Radcliffe live in a play before. Oh, that's awesome. That's another thing that's like a big blind spot for me is watching plays. I haven't been to many plays before, and that's something I would really love to do and check out. And I actually think the Book of Mormon's coming here in my hometown soon. So I might get to see that. And I've been a fan of that play and also those South Park episodes for quite some time on the Book of Mormon. So that's fun stuff. Kasparl says, "Yeah, I haven't met anyone, but my dad met John Oliver." That's interesting. I wonder what the context was, but that's cool that he met John Oliver. Sam, I'm so freaking jealous of you. I remember you telling me this before. You've met Matt Berry outside the clothes shop in London. Well, there he is right there. Matt Berry, the man, the myth, and the legend, Toast. Love that man. I actually, a little personal thing here, but my best friend, I don't know if you know of there's I don't remember what it's called, but there's a social media app where you can pay money for celebrities to give you just a message. They can just be like, "Hey," I think it's called Cameo actually. And fun fact about Toast of London is we had Ray Bloody Purchase, that actor who played Ray Purchase. He did a video. My best friend did a video for me as a birthday wish, and that was one of the best birthday gifts I've ever had because it was just so cool. He's like, "Hey," and then if you've seen the show, you know exactly how Ray Purchase talks, and it was just one of the most fun things ever, and I love that. So that was a lot of fun. Anyway, now everyone's popping in the chat now. Let's see. Kasparov says, "Whoa." And let's see. SJS says, "I met you, Nathan, virtually when we did the film journey, and you are a YouTube celebrity, so I have to choose you." Thanks, man. Well, if I ever head over to Europe again, I hope to meet up with you too, buddy. I definitely missed you because I know you're not in England anymore, but I know you were there for a while now. At least I think. Sam says, "I met Tony Hawk's oh, you met Tony Hawk, or have you met the game Pro Skater?" Yes, I know Tony Hawk. Of course, played those games. That's really cool. You could. I forget, Sam. I think you skated. You told me you skated before, I think. Chris says mine is Pink, briefly, or Lisa Snowden. Yes, I remember you telling me about Pink. Great story. And Lisa Snowden, I've that's ringing a bell, but I don't know. I don't know who that is, and I feel bad for not knowing who that is. I probably do, but SJS says, "But in person, I met Terry Gilliam and Kevin Smith and two Game of Thrones actors, the guys who played the characters of Theon Greyjoy and Meryn Trant." Oh, wow. That's fantastic. Those are fun. Those are fun people, right? At least Terry Gilliam and Kevin Smith are looks like a load of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun to meet them. And I wish I met some Game of Thrones actors. In Belfast, I went to the Game of Thrones studio tour, which was fantastic. And of course, with the second episode of The House of Dragons coming out tonight, I'm pretty pumped about it. So, let's see. Davey says Timothy Dalton. I love that. I love that you've met him. Lovely and very funny. Brian Cox, man, Dan Aykroyd, what? And Robbie Coltrane and Alan Cumming. Wow, those are fantastic people. Man, I'm jealous of that. That's a great list of people right there. They all seem like fun people to be around. Don't know about Dan Aykroyd. I don't know how he would be in real life. I feel like sometimes he might be fun. Jordan Rickerson says, "I got to talk to Tim Heidecker." That's awesome. And Tim and Eric, that's freaking fantastic. And Greg Turkington and Neil Hamburger a couple times, and they were lovely. That's awesome. I love Steve Brule, so John C. Reilly's character. So I haven't really watched much Tim and Eric, but I definitely I've been around it enough, and those are always fun stuff to watch. I even remember the Tommy Wiseau, Tim and Eric, and that big man. I love that crazy stuff. Goose says, I got a picture with Richard Dean Anderson at a Comic Con a couple years ago and thought the meeting was brief. It was absolutely wonderful. He's exactly as nice as you think he is. That's fantastic. That's good to hear too. That's another thing, like going to like a Comic Con or some kind of event where you would meet and greet. I feel like that might be a lot of maybe the horror community. If any of you are, would say that you would like to be a part of that, you can go to like these cons and you can meet a lot of these actors, and some of them are great, and some of them might be charging a little bit extra money. But I don't know. I've never really been a person to be like, I want to go meet a bunch of random strangers. But I might. Just depends on what it is. Like I would love to meet Colin Farrell, but also at the same time, I would just be very cool. Be like, just a big fan of your work. Really liked you in Phone Booth and in Bruges, and other stuff. And so anyway, that's how I'd kind of interact. But I probably wouldn't. Toast was nearly the new Doctor Who. I do remember that. That is, I wish that Toast was the new Doctor Who. That would be fantastic. That is such a good video. Everyone look up Doctor Who and Matt Berry and have yourself a good time. That's very good. Let's see. Claire says, I've also seen Madonna in New York City in 2016. That's awesome. That's another thing. I don't know if you were in a show, Claire, but that's awesome that you're able to see Madonna then. That's cool. Dan Aykroyd was cool filming House of Mirth here at the Art Galleries. We all went in to see Gillian Anderson, and Dan was just there, more than happy to talk about Ghostbusters with a bunch of fanboy teens. That's good. I'm glad he was cool. That's awesome. All right. So now we're getting up to the final question, and then we're going to kind of wrap this thing up when we're going to do this giveaway for this. But people who have joined along now, I've seen that people have joined along. Once again, we're going through each of the questions and answers for that I've done for the last month and a half, the last month and a half. Wow, I can't talk. And I wrote down that there's 78 of you. There's 78 of you down here. I'll be doing a random number generator to give away these two 4Ks right here, a fistful of dollars and for a few dollars more. I keep switching them around. But there's going to be two giveaways. So I'm going to give one to somebody and then one to another. And even if you live outside the United States, I'm going to be definitely shipping it off your way. So I just wanted, it's like a big thank you for everyone in the community. To me, it's like, that's why I'm here, is because of you, all of you watching me right here. And everyone who's maybe not in the chat right now, but everyone who has like watched the videos and interacted. And so this is me trying to thank you. So anyway, so let's transition here to this last question I have. And what is your favorite film score? So this is a tough one because I feel like when I made the video, what is your favorite film score? I wanted to say so many films. There's actually, I don't even know what it is at the moment, but I think at the time I said Interstellar, which is the best, in my opinion, my favorite score that Christopher Nolan's ever done, and also my favorite film from Christopher Nolan. I know that's an odd one. Some people don't like it at all, but I love it, and I have really good memories associated with Interstellar. But that score is just, that's the best thing that Hans Zimmer, besides Pirates of the Caribbean, I would say that's probably the best thing that Hans Zimmer has done. It's so minimal, but it's also so chaotic and explosive. It's literally one of the most perfect scores I can think of to talk about. But what about you? I know there's so many answers here. I think I talked about Javier Navarrete's the Pan's Labyrinth, which is another absolute favorite of mine. And also, this is my plug. If anyone knows where to get the vinyl of the Pan's Labyrinth soundtrack, please let me know, because I want it so badly. I really love that score. I think I also said Howard Shore is a really great one for Lord of the Rings. I think those are probably my top three. And Assassination of Jesse James of the Coward Robert Ford, that Nick Cave and Warren Ellis, is also a very fantastic score. There's so many good scores, but what about you? Let me know what your favorite score is. And now we're going to get some people in the chat talking about their favorite scores. So Film Blogger Sam says Social Network, which is a film, oddly enough, that I hated when I first watched it. I just didn't like how smug Jesse Eisenberg is. Obviously, he's playing a character. But this is back in 2010 when this came out. I was a very different person in 2010 because that was 12 years ago, almost 13. And so I didn't really like it, but rewatching it, subsequently years later, I really loved it. And the score is definitely one of the reasons why I loved it, is because that score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is just a fantastic one. And I could not agree with you, Sam, on that one. I can agree with you. I almost said I could not. I don't know how to use words. So SJS says The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Hey, good timing to talk about that film when it comes to this one, right? Fantastic movie. I honestly need to rewatch more spaghetti westerns. Right now, El Grande Silencio is probably my favorite spaghetti western. That Sergio Corbucci film. Anyway, I want to watch it again soon. Maybe in the wintertime I can do that. Let's say Davey says Restless Natives by Big Country. That's fantastic. I really want to. I want to see that movie, but I've heard really good things about it. Firewalk with Me by Badalamenti. And yes, I'm actually Twin Peaks is a big blind spot. I know Sam knows this, but I eventually will watch Twin Peaks. I promise everyone else, and I'll record myself and I'll let everyone know. And then also Empire by John. Empire Strikes Back by John Williams. That's phenomenal. Sam says Interstellar is so good. The film is a masterpiece apart from the silly expository dialogue. That's the part I think a lot of people are hung up about. Is that, and it's a little bit obviously non-sciencey and a little bit too explainy in some parts. It's just like, hey, just let the emotion ride the film. And yeah, I agree. Goose says I'd love to see Blade Runner. I would love to say Blade Runner. Yeah, that score as iconic. And I think mine is also Interstellar. I got the chance recently to listen to some of it live with a pianist and a quartet, and it was astonishing. Hans Zimmer is a genius. That's amazing. I would love to, like I mentioned earlier about theater productions, or at least just going to a play. I'd love to go to the theater more, just where I'm at located. There's really not a theater to go to. There are some small plays and stuff like that, but not really something like an orchestra. You could go to an orchestra at the university where I used to work at. That is something that I used to go to sometimes. But that was a lot of fun. Chris says, I love Zimmer's Man of Steel so much. That film is underrated as well. I enjoy that score as well. I need to rewatch that movie. I definitely would say, starting off in that DC universe, Man of Steel was definitely one of the ones that definitely was a one that I enjoyed quite a bit. One of the best Superman movies. And fun fact, I still haven't seen the original first four Supermans. I know that the four is a joke, but I really want to watch it still. So yes, I haven't seen the Superman movies. I've seen the stupid Kevin Spacey one, and of course all the stuff that's been recent. But yeah, but Man of Steel is a good one. I like that film. Let's see. Davey says Justin Hurwitz's score for First Man is unreal too. Yes, that's an underrated film. It definitely felt a little bit underwhelming, I would say, just as a follow-up for La La Land. But I think it's a really good movie, and one that I think will come back. A lot of people will come back to it in the future and re-look at it. Holland Oat says, "Hey Nathan, hope you're having a good weekend. It's good seeing you, buddy. Hope to see you again. Also, it's good seeing you and a lot of the people who are in the chat that I normally don't see. In maybe a live stream setting. This is really cool." Let's see. Space Monkey's talking to Davey, and Eric says favorite score is Friday Night Lights by the band's Explosions in the Sky. That's a great band. I've watched Friday Night Lights years and years and years ago, but it's been forever. But Explosions in the Sky is a great band, and actually, I kind of want to talk about music for a second. If anyone wants to do that, since we're talking about scores, we can talk about this. What's everyone's favorite music genre? I would love to know in the live chat. That would be a lot of fun. What's everyone's favorite music genre that you like to listen to? Davey says Edward Scissorhands before Elfman's shtick became old. Hey, yeah, I mean, honestly, Elfman did a lot of really great things with Tim Burton, and I really like a lot of those titles together. That's great. Atari says Conan the Barbarian. That's a great movie. I need to get it again. I actually gifted that movie to some friends, and so I don't have it anymore. Space Monkey says, Hans, love the Zimmer score on the Thin Red Line. That is a great score. That's a great Criterion. I have that on my shelf over here somewhere. But yes, good movie. Great choice right here. There it is. I found it. Told you I knew where things were. I just need to find it right there. That's good stuff. Okay, now we're in. Let's see. Davey says Mark Knopfler's score for Local Hero. That score is fantastic, and of course, I'm going to be talking about Local Hero soon. For people who aren't keeping up with the series that I've been doing on the channel, I've been doing a spotlight series on different directors each for the month of August. For each week, I did an English director. I did David Lean and Noel Coward, so I guess 2 people. There's technically 4 involved with that team, but I did that like the second week of August. The third week of August, I did Jim Sheridan, the Irish director, and talked about him. And this 4th director, I haven't made a video yet. I haven't had time, but it is on Bill Forsyth. So just to let everyone to know, I watched some Bill Forsyth films, and Local Hero was among them, and definitely one of my favorite films from that. Davey says, music, you say? Not a fan. Of course, Davey's Cinema Flicks and Music Picks hates music, just to let everyone know. Atarius says, heavy metal. Metal's pretty good. You can probably tell by my shirt. I just saw them this past week for the second time. But I talk about metal as much. I know some people here are I like Sam's comment. I'll get to that in a second. That's exactly how I feel about it. Kasparl says, I like New Wave and Gnarls Barkley. That's good stuff. And rap's good. Also rap's good. Yeah. I do like some good New Wave and some good hip hop and rap. I'm a big 90s rap fan. So I like a lot of the groups. Wu-Tang is for the children, and that's what I'll say always. Let's see. Eric says he's a shoegaze fan. I like shoegaze a lot as well. Like Slow Dive and stuff like that. I also just like a lot of the crossover kind of shoegaze stuff, like Death Heaven, which is black metal and shoegaze. So we can talk about that. Not everyone loves that. Some people are a little bit elitist with black metal, and I'm like, whatever. Good music is good music, in my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. I don't want to talk. If I talk music, by the way, I will say that I do have a very, because I used to work at a record store. I have a very, I'm a lot more open with movies than I am with music. I'm a little bit more standoffish with it. So, but I feel like that is a metal sentiment, because I feel like people who like metal also hate metal at the same time, like just different genres, and they hate on other things, and it's just funny to me. But anyway, let's see. Jordan Rickerson says, I'm a big hip hop fan as well, as a big dance punk fan. LCD Sound System is fantastic. Although I heard they recently did some kind of like live event, and they didn't really sound very good, but obviously they're not really a band anymore, I don't think. But they have some great albums, right? Davey says prog rock, and I love prog rock as well. Prog rock is my bread and butter. I grew up on Rush and Genesis and Yes, and all the Camel and things like that. And obviously I love like things like Opeth and Catatonia. So you see some of the progressive metal involved with that too. And this is what I was talking about with Sam, saying music that makes most people's ears bleed. And that's what I like the most as well. I like to make people, I want things that will make people's ears bleed. It's the best. SGS, I knew you're a metal fan. Black Death, prog mostly, prog rock, all types of jazz. And the last year I've gotten really into dream pop, art pop, and shoegaze. Makes sense. I mean, I feel like those are, I don't know what it is, but I feel like most people who listen to metal also go into those categories a lot for like their relaxing music. It seems natural. I don't know. For me, it's the same. But Kasparl says jazz is amazing. I love jazz as well. Jazz is just fantastic. I have quite a bit of jazz in my collection, my vinyl collection. Chet Baker and Miles Davis, of course, and the like. Also, I really like soul. I'm starting to like soul a lot more too. Al Green and things like that. I need to get more records like that. Let's see. Sam says shoegaze is probably my favorite specific subgenre, but hard rock metal of all types is my jam. But I listen to a lot of stuff. Yes, Sam and I have talked a lot about music, and that's stuff we love talking about. Davey says Seventh Wonder, which is a band that I introduced to you, and I think everyone should listen to. If you like kind of more of that progressive rock stuff, but also just like maybe some impressive highs, but also a singer that actually sounds really really good. Seventh Wonder and Camelot. Those are our two bands that definitely deserve a lot of attention. SJS says, but in the end, there's tons of good music in all genres. I'm just glad I was able to get out of my genre elitism that I used to have. Same here, man. I feel like the older you get, you need to get out of that because every genre has something great. So, like a good example for me is like I love Casey Musgraves quite a bit, and I love her kind of pop country sentiment. But honestly, I'm starting to like pop a lot more, and I think that's just and even country. And country's been something that I've been really digging a lot lately, and it's just really refreshing to kind of see and showcase that kind of that different stuff that I expose myself. I feel like a lot of people in this community, whether you like obviously you like movies, right? I feel like music is the same thing. We like to discover new things as much as we can. Obviously, we go back to our favorites and our, the types of genres that we like, both music and movie wise. But I just love that exploration aspect quite a bit. So that's why I like going to every genre depending on my mood, right? Or my curiosity. Rock and music forever says hard rock, alternative, doom metal, and 80s pop synth. I love all those so much. Caspar says Genesis is an amazing, yeah, they're an amazing band, and I love them. Eric Peak says Gaze Film Link, Alex of Ringo Stardeath is dating Martin Starr. I don't know much about that, but it sounds interesting. I would like to kind of figure out that link myself. So Davey says, I think you will find I introduced Seventh Wonder to you, Nate. Beer and pizza went to your head, drunkard. Yes, I was way too drunk when we talked about music and having good pizza and stuff. That was great. Space Monkey says, been a fan of 70s hard rock, Black Sabbath, and Zeppelin forever. Now I'm trying to get into some local bands. At the Gates. Right here, I just saw them. In Flames, Meshuggah, Opeth, Bathory. Because when you said local bands, but I'm like, oh yeah, Space Monkeys in Sweden. That makes complete sense. That's awesome. There's so many good bands from Europe, of course. That is such a great place. That's why to me that's like the birthplace of a lot of metal. Obviously, you hear it from Black Sabbath, right? So there's that. Miss Young Park says, hey, how are you? Doing good, man. How are you? SJS says, Nathan's At the Gate shirt reminds me of my childhood obsession with melodic death metal. It's quite big here in Finland, and I still listen to it. But now I prefer the more technical stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I feel like At the Gates is a little bit more raw, so I can definitely listen to them a little bit more. But yeah, melodic death metal, like that was like my transition from like metalcore and that kind of stuff to where I am now, right? Into Opeth and Cannibal Corpse, like, and I want to hear even like scarier shit than that, which I really enjoy. SGS says Meshuggah and Opeth are top 10, if not top 5 bands for me. Divinely good. 100% agree. Everyone who likes metal and other genres, keep it going. So anyway, we just totally derail people. I don't know where everyone's at now on this whole thing, but let's go back to films. Let's talk about some films here. So real quick before we do this giveaway, what questions do you have for me? I would love to answer just a few questions, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up here in a little bit. So I'll get this all started here. I'll get a number generator here, but I want people, if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them for you. We can get started here. Let's see. I'm going to put together this number first, this random number generator, and then I'll answer some questions here. There are 78 of you. There are 78 here, people, not in the chat right now, but 78 people who commented on my videos of these question and prompt series, and this is just so cool that that many, and a lot of this is twice. So like I can probably triple this number. That's how many people commented, which is just like almost 200 people did something, or at least somebody did it multiple times, right? Some people watched every single video and commented, which is great. And I just like any kind of interaction whatsoever. That's something that I enjoy. So random number generator. and then I'll answer some questions. Let's see, 1 to 78. All right, now let's get to the questions before we do that. All right, let's see. Davey says most anticipated pre-orders. Shawscope Volume 2. That is something I am like super, super high on. If anyone's been following me, he says, okay, most non-anticipated non-Shawscope. He knew exactly I was going to go that direction. But Shawscope is the most anticipated film box set that I'm looking forward to. Just kung fu and martial arts films. It's a new love, and I'm just gobsmacked by it. I say Godsmack. Ugh, gobsmack. That's what I meant to say. If anyone likes Godsmack, that's fine. No, not for me. Most anticipated release this year. I had to think about it, but there are some second sight stuff that I'm still looking forward to, and very much waiting to get. I have so many pre-orders. I feel like I don't even know what all the things I ordered are. And that's funny that you say most anticipated pre-order, and then Casparl says, "Did you pre-order the new Shawscope?" Yes, very much so. I'm very excited for it. Sue, hey, hey Nathan, I just made it in to say hey. Well, I'm glad to see you, Sue. Yeah, we're wrapping this up here in about 15, 20 minutes, but this has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad to see you here talking, in live chat form. That's awesome. Film blogger Sam, excitement level for Shawscope volume 2 out of volume 2 out of 10. It's an 11, and it's always going to be an 11. And everyone who knows that joke, I hope all of you do. That's my answer. Let's see. SJS says, Nathan, do you listen to Ulcerate or Death Spell Omega? What about can never say their name right. Cocteau Twins. They're some of my favorites. Yes, I really like those bands quite a bit. I've definitely listened to them and several of their albums. So great stuff there. Davey's definitely asked, what's my most anticipated non-Shawscope? I don't know. I have to look at my stuff. Casparl says Paddington 1 or 2. I want people to guess which one you think I'm going to choose. This is going to be to you. Everyone watching right now, what Paddington do you think I'll choose? 1 or 2? I'll get back to that in a second. Davey says, Fugitive from the Past from Arrow is my numero uno. Yeah, it's something I want to see as well. There's some really good Arrow stuff coming out that I'm very curious about. Go Dodgers says, forgot to mention earlier, but Glory was my favorite score by James Horner. Glory is something I really need to see still. I've never seen it, which is just kind of a crime because it's Denzel, first of all. And then also, hello. It's also just, I used to be really like heavily into the Civil War back in like 5th grade. I had a teacher, a history teacher. Actually, I was going to be a history major. Actually, I'm taking a little bit of a side tangent. And their whole thing was American history. They were really excited about, but their specialty was the Civil War. And where I live in Missouri, there's actually a national battlefield that happened not too far away from where I'm at. And I've always been like I'm a Union boy. I'll always hate the Confederacy. But it's always interesting to kind of think about like where the states were, at least, and thinking about that time period, which is not that long ago, which is just insane to me. But Glory is a movie that where I just got sidetracked just now. Glory is a movie I've been wanting to watch for forever. So, okay, let's see. Claire, have you seen the Fantastic Beasts movie? I've seen the first 2. Yeah, I haven't seen the third one. I've heard mixed things. The second one really disappointed me. I'm not generally too harsh on it. I mean, if somebody has it on, I'll watch it. I'm not like super brutal on it, but I do love the Harry Potter films over those films. But the first Fantastic Beasts, I actually had a good time with. Let's see. The BFI Mr. James Ghost Stories is pretty massive on my pre-orders. Yeah, Davey, that's a good choice. I mean, you brought that up to me. That is definitely one of my most anticipated releases. I know you and Sam are both high on that. You people in the UK know more about those ghost stories, and I'm curious to know more about it myself. All right, so here's where people are guessing now. They're guessing. My guess is Paddington 2, and they're all right. So Davey, Space Monkey, Casparl, you're correct. It's Paddington 2. Paddington is fantastic, of course, but Paddington 2 just ups it up. and I love it. And Chris Moen, you bastard, he's gonna make me choose between Red Shoes or Billy Madison. This is gonna make a lot of people either very happy about this, or I got to go with my heart. Okay, it's Billy Madison. Even though I don't know, this reference is hilarious to me because I think Chris is referencing to my top 100 list that I made, and I think I put Billy Madison above Red Shoes, or maybe Red Shoes is above it, but I said Billy Madison. Regardless, I love them. I love them both. Red Shoes is a phenomenal film, and I'm super happy to have the 4K. Sam says, I'm looking forward to Videodrome 4K, Watership Down 4K quite a bit. That's another one. Watership Down, I pre-ordered that, the BFI release. I'm super stoked about that. I love that film. Love that book. And there's also a band, an English band called Fall of Efrafa. So if you like metal, Fall of Efrafa. I can't spell it loud very well. Check it out. I like it. If you like metal, so their whole world is built on Watership Down. It's really cool. SJS says favorite Converge album. Mine is Jane Doe, All We Love, We Leave Behind, being close second. Those are my favorite two as well. Although I will say that the album right before All We Love, We Leave Behind, or maybe it was right after. Anyway, Jane Doe is definitely the classic, right? Jane Doe is just a really fantastic, amazing. 2001 is just an amazing year for metal because Blackwater Park and Jane Doe are in that year, and that's just insane. Chris Alders, hey man, nice seeing you. Greetings, and everyone else from Edmonton. I'm doing well. Greetings from Springfield. So Casper says Watership Down 4K. Damn, I have to look for that. Yes, pick that up. I don't know where you're at, Casparl, but I know that the Diabolique DVD has it, or at least did when I pre-ordered it. Film blogger Sam Jane Doe is in my top 10 albums of all time. Yeah, of course. I mean, that makes complete sense. Claire says the third Fantastic Beasts movie was very slow-moving and boring, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll watch it someday, maybe. So we'll see. Casparl says I have trouble. I think they were both masterpieces for Paddington. Yes, it's hard to choose. I mean, they're so fantastic. Of course, it was Paddington too. Brendan is in it. Yeah, of course, that's the reason I chose it. Happy Gilmore blows all those movies out of the water. Man, I love Happy Gilmore, but Billy Madison is my go-to. I'm a sucker for a kid who has to go back to school, or well, a young man has to go back to school and repeat all those grades. Is just one of the funniest concepts to me, and the amount of random shit in that movie is just, it's amazing. SJS says to Film Blogger Sam might be on my top 10 2 or close to it. And Chris checked me on that list with the Red Shoes and Billy Madison. I'm consistent. That makes me happy because I definitely am not very consistent when it comes to ranking, because I have no idea how I rank things. Because maybe a day or two later I'd be like, no, it's this, because I changed my mind on things. Let's see. Davey says Fantastic Beasts ditches the problematic Depp, but don't worry, Ezra Miller is still he's gone in a flash. Honestly, you switch around Depp and Colin Farrell. If Johnny Depp was like the beginning and then it switched to Colin Farrell, that's how I would like it. I would watch those films if Colin Farrell was still in it, but he's off to better things. So like the Banshees of Inisheer. So that's what makes me happy. Chris doing spot checks on our rankings. Shit. Yeah, well, we might have to make those rankings public, boys. Casparl says I have a double dip. I have a double DVD of Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. I used to have the same DVD double feature. It's so nice to have that on hand. I have silly Blu-rays over there. I would love a boutique label release of those films. Give me a 90s Sandler boutique treatment. Give it to me. This is chaos that we're doing. Spot checking the insanity, Sam. All good though. That's funny. All right, so thank you for the random questions. Let's kind of wrap this thing up. I got the random number generator for the giveaway for both of these films for a few dollars more, and for a few dollars more and a fistful of dollars. I went backwards here. let's do A Fistful of Dollars first because it is the first film, with Clint Eastwood and Sergio Leone together in the trilogy from 1964. Great film. I have the number generator right here. You can see that I have 8. Our 1 is 78. This is just, it was out of 8 first. I haven't generated it yet. So I'm clicking it, and it is number 29. And I have number 29 as Art Irony. Art Irony is not in the chat, but Art Irony, we'll figure this out. You know what? Let's keep going. If Art Irony doesn't show up in the chat, I might come back to that. So let's do this 1 to 50. Right here. It looks like we have Rob Savage. Rob Savage has won for a few dollars more. Rob Savage, you have for a few dollars more. So if you can get in touch with me, that'd be great. But actually, you know what? I kind of want to do. So Rob Savage, you got this. Honestly, people who are watching this live might do better with this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should I don't know if these people are going to be able to watch this whole live stream giveaway because I don't think either of them are in the chat. Or should I do a chat of the live stream? Should I do a random number generator and give one of these films away to you? Let me know. What do you think? I would like to know your thoughts. But I have them down right here for this live. You want me to do it live, Dave? Everyone wants me to do it live. Okay. Well, I got to figure out who else is. Everyone wants to do it live stream, of course, because you're the ones who are checking this out, which is actually, it makes more sense. I probably should do that. I should have thought about that. They are here. You guys are here now. So, all right. So let me count up the people who are all here. Okay. So just a little bit of digging. Movie Geek was here for a second. So Bernardo, I'm a good friend with, so I have at least one. John Deere, Notarius, Davey, Blu-ray Mark, Film Blogger Sam, Dave, I said Davey, Disconnected. Eddie is there. There's 8 right now. We're counting. Let's see. We have 8. SGS is 9. Atarius is 10. We have Blu-ray Mark is 11. Did I already count who? I already did. So we're back at 10. Sorry, I'm doing this live, everyone. This is something I haven't done. Chris Moen is 11. Then we have from next 11, Space Monkey is number 12. Let's see who come in next. Mike is number 13. Claire, 14. Let's see. Remember your name, by the way. Remember Mike. Let's see, 15. So I'm gonna be counting all this up together, and then once I get the number, I'm actually gonna go in the chat, and whatever number you are in the chat, that's how I'm gonna give it away. So I'm at Rock and Music Forever is 19. Let's see. Goose is 20. Claire is 21. I already did that. I think I already did that. So this is very chaotic. Jordan Rickerson is 21. Doing this all live. Hollow Notes is 22, I think, is what I said. Eric Peak is 23. I probably already said a million things. I should have thought about this earlier. I should have been writing this all down. Let's do Miss Sung Park is 24. Sue is 25. Go Dodgers is 26. And Chris Alders is 27. We're getting to the end. So, all right. 27. There's 27 of you in here who were here. So now we're going to do it 1 out of 27. Okay? Let's see. This is so chaotic. I feel like I'm watching my own channel. Yes, you are. I love it. All right. First off is number 13, the lucky number 13. Stoffel Waffle's also here. That's no region free player. No, you fun fact, Stoffel Waffle 4Ks are region free, so it's all good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. 10. It's almost there. Who's number 13? I should have counted. Uh-oh. Well, who was right before Claire? Right before Claire showed up is the person who won. Goose, it's you. So Goose's movies. It is you. You have won a fistful of dollars. So Goose, right. This is right here. This is yours, Goose's movies. So contact me on Instagram or Twitter. We can find that out. So, but Goose's movies, you have won this. I saw you as number 13, so Goose, this is going to be yours. But I know you said you think we're 20. That was very chaotic. So let's just keep going. The next one is number 23 out of 27, and I'm just going to go 4 back more or less from people I saw, and I believe that was right before. It was Sue. So Sue Murray right there. Sue Murray, you have won for a few dollars more. So Goose, you have won. You have won for a fistful of dollars, and Sue Murray, you have won for a few dollars more. So I'm going to write that down for myself. That Goose won for a fistful of dollars. Goose's movies, and Sue Murray won for a few dollars more. Fistful and Sue, which I can contact both you there for a few dollars more. All right, so contact me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm going to be linking those here in this, but you could also just watch any of my other videos. They also have those links as well. So once I figure that out and let both of you know that you have that, I think Sue might have, I don't know if she's here still. But anyway, I want to say thank you, everyone. Yeah, Sue is still here. So cool. So thank you so much for watching this, everyone. I know that it was a little bit chaotic at the end, but now we know what this is going to look like, right? So this is kind of how the format of what I want to do with these kind of culmination of all these question and answers that I did through the whole entire month and a half now is I want to kind of just ask people who are live in the chat talking about this stuff. And then also just engaging about random stuff, right? And exactly what Davey says, chaos is the way to do it. And then do a giveaway live. But this time, once people come in, I'll start writing that down, and then I'll do a giveaway, and that'll be a lot simpler and a lot less chaotic. So I want to say thank you all so much for that, sticking with that and watching me fumble over like counting and and not interacting with you. But I had a really good time. I hope everyone else enjoyed this as well. I want to say thank you all so much once again for being here. This is always this is one of my homes, right, on YouTube, and joining along and meeting a lot of you either in person or in the chat or on videos. That's what it's all about. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Ciao to everyone and goodbye and sayonara and all those fun goodbyes. But thank you all so much for watching. You're already subscribed to me. I know all of you are there. So have a great night for everyone, or a great morning, whatever time it is for you. Have a good one, and I'll see you around. Or I'm not jonesing around. Is that how you go? Anyway, see everyone.